Hello, everyone. My name is Paul, and I'm going to do a review and overlook of the UniLook outdoor smart solar-powered camera. This video presentation is more for the beginner, basic user um, to cover the installation and setup of this particular camera. Out of the box, the camera comes with a user manual, the solar panel. The solar panel has a built-in non-removable pigtail. It's about 10 feet long. It also comes with a second micro USB cord. This would be used for an external power source. So if you were to take the camera, disconnect it from the solar panel, and you needed to charge it or power it, you can use this separate cable from an external power source or from USB port on your computer. Comes with the camera itself. The camera is kind of cute. Looks like a little robot with its hands up in the air. Um, the mounting hardware, this particular bracket is the mounting bracket for the camera. Comes with 4 wood screws, Phillips head screws. Um, the in this picture, the bracket's upside down on my table, but the kit comes with a plastic threaded or plastic cap threaded mounting bolt that would screw into the what would be considered the top of the unit into the threaded base. In the plastic bag is the mounting kit for the solar panel. The round base here is comes with 3 Phillips head screws. Comes with the swing arm, the tensioning ring, the tensioning thumb cap, and a tensioning plastic insert. Little note on this plastic insert, it's not labeled in the manual, or I couldn't find it anyway, but it took me a minute to figure out that little plastic cylinder goes inside the swing arm, and it's used to push tension against the mounting thread for the solar panel and the base. So without it, you can't get any tension on that on the threaded screw part that goes into the solar panel. So you have to put this little piece of plastic inside the swing arm. I won't get into how you mount the brackets. I trust that everybody watching the video knows how to use a Phillips head screwdriver. So I mean, that's as complicated really as it gets when it comes to mounting the brackets. So that being said, let's look at the camera. On the very top of the camera, actually when it's mounted, it'll be considered the bottom. But that being said, this particular opening has a rubberized gasket. You lift the gasket up and it exposes these items within the camera. The first is this slot, which is the SD memory card. I don't have one in this picture, but that's if you're going to use an SD card for capturing images and videos, that's where it would go. This little hole gives you access to the reset button underneath. The kit comes with a little pin, little metal pin, kind of looks like a paper clip, but if you needed to do a factory reset on this unit after you have it configured once already, that's where you would do it using the pin in that hole. I believe that process is described in the manual. And this little swing arm looking thing here actually is a power button and a learn mode button or sync mode. You would use that when it comes time to have the camera learn your network after you've installed the app on your smartphone. And the app comes both in Android and Apple. So part of the setup process, when you do install the app will display a QR code on the screen during the final process of adding the camera to your network. You would take that QR code being displayed on your smartphone via the app and you would show it to the camera, place it in front of the camera lens, and that allows the camera to identify the network, and reach out to your app on your smartphone. So that's part of the setup process. In the back of the unit is a micro USB access port, again underneath a rubberized insulator. This is only good for power. Your solar panel, photocell, will plug into this to provide power to the camera. You could also use the external micro USB cord that comes with it to power the camera or use the camera internally if you weren't using the camera in your house or something of that nature. The back of the camera is where the speaker is located. This unit allows you to talk over the camera. I have to trust that these perforations are waterproof internally. I think it would be big enough that if there were a hard rain, that water could get in it. I didn't take the camera apart. I don't tend to do that to the new cameras. So I have to trust that how they've designed it, that water could not get any further internally. So that being said, when you do go to install the camera, after you've put the mounting brackets up in the positions that you want them, when you plug in the solar panel pigtail comes with an insulator that plugs into that opening. What I want to point out is that if you notice, the rubber insulating cap is a little bit higher than the plastic molding shown here in this picture. Use your thumbnail or some other applicator, a small slotted screwdriver, whatever you have, and push that rubber down so it's flush. It will go flush with the plastic molding of the camera itself. I don't know if it being raised a little bit like this, will allow water to get into the micro USB port, but I did find that if a little bit of effort, you can make that flush to make sure that it is fully seated. And here's a picture of how the installation looks on my cabin, which is behind my home. I have the camera mounted on the corner of the molding on this cabin so that when I do turn the camera viewing angle, I can look around the corner. So it kind of gives me a 270-degree angle, if you will. The photocell I mounted higher than the camera, not parallel or horizontal to it, only because if I did turn the camera, I don't want to look at or have the solar panel blocking my field of view. So I raised the camera up, or the photocell up higher than the camera. The pigtail, as I mentioned, is about 10 feet. I don't need or didn't need a lot of it in this installation. So what I did is I coiled it up, put a tie wrap on it, and was able to place it behind the camera to keep it tucked out of the way. So I only have a very short piece of the cable showing. I angled the photocell solar panel towards the track of the sun, so it would have maximum visibility to the sun for the longest period of charging and exposure available throughout the day. So next we're going to talk about the application. Okay, let's get into the smartphone app. As I mentioned, it comes both for Android and Apple. The instructions tell you to where to go in the Google Play or Apple software, wherever it may be, where to get the app. And like most camera manufacturers, they want you to set up an account. This way, you can use their cloud services if you choose to buy into that. Also, provides some security so that way nobody can just install an app and sync your camera without you knowing about it, so on. So you do have to download the app and create an account. So once you've done that, you then sign in, and we start you'll begin the installation process of adding your new camera. I've already done it, so I'm not going to walk through that part of the process, but it's pretty straightforward. It'll ask you questions about your 2.4 gig Wi-Fi network. This camera does not run on 5 gig, it's 2.4 only. But it'll ask you questions about your network, such as your system ID and your Wi-Fi password. And as I mentioned, it will then display a QR code which you have to show to the camera to finish the installation process or the sync process for your camera to add it to the app. But it's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's really nothing hard about it. But on the topic of Wi-Fi, since my camera and most likely this camera is going to be used outside, it's all about the Wi-Fi signal strength and not just the transmit strength from your Wi-Fi router or access point. Your access point or Wi-Fi router needs to be in a position where it can receive signal from the Wi-Fi camera as well. I'll log in and show you where my camera is located. So once you've installed and logged in, set up your account and logged into your app, for the first time it'll give you a generic background image. I think in the future when you open the app, it shows you an image of the last screen capture that the camera has taken, but this one is just a generic image. You'll see that in the middle of the image is the play button. This will start the process of establishing a live video feed to the camera. As I mentioned, this emulator I'm using, it's going to take a few seconds, so bear with me. A little word on Wi-Fi in general. My camera is about, we'll say, 40 feet from my home, attached to my cabin in the back of my property. Wi-Fi or the camera performance is, obviously based upon how well the Wi-Fi signal is in and around your home. I happen to have a wireless access point outside for use when I'm outside on my deck. So obviously the stronger the Wi-Fi signal outside your home, the better and further you can connect to the outside camera. So, that's very important. They don't really cover that when they talk about the camera in general. It needs to be known that, you're responsible for the quality of the Wi-Fi signal in and around your home. So that being said, so we've connected to my camera, and what you're looking at is a image of my home in the backyard as seen from the camera attached to the cabin. So the camera itself, the app, it shows you the name of the device and the battery indicator. Looks like I have a fully charged battery. Other icons include a back, a time indicator, setup icon. This gives you access to all the various settings for the artificial intelligence, the zones, the alerting, things of that nature. We have a sound. My sound for the microphone on the camera is currently enabled. You may be able to hear birds and other things in the background. Normally I have crows out back there that love to make a lot of noise. There is a button for an audible alarm. So if you need to scare someone or something away or alert someone, you can enable this siren, this audible alarm. It's actually kind of, quite loud. You can hear it pretty well. It's not designed to deafen anybody, certainly, but it's enough to make notice that an alarm's going off. White light is used during the evening to better illuminate the surrounding area for the camera. So at night, the camera is in night operation using infrared LEDs. The white light allows you to kind of illuminate the area a little bit better. This position button allows you to do preset positions for the camera, whatever they may be. For example, I have three that, you know, will automatically position the camera to different angles for rapid access to something I want to look at regularly. Then down here you have the pan and tilt. These buttons allow you to control the left, right, up and down positions of the camera. A press to speak button. The camera, as I mentioned earlier, has a built-in microphone, allows you to communicate with someone within the proximity of the camera. Um, I don't believe, I didn't try, but I don't believe you can speak and listen at the same time. So it's an on and off thing. Down here is a home button, which brings you back to this primary screen. A library. So if you're using the SD card to record images and video captures, you can access them through the library. A user icon allows you to set up yourself, the account for you, and allows you to share your account with another user or share the camera feed with another user. So if you've got another someone else you want to give access to the camera, you can do that through the user interface. Let's attempt to do some of these controls. As I mentioned, I'm running an Android emulator, which may or may not crash on us. So let me get into the setup, and there it goes. So, oh, no, it brought it back. I thought it was going to crash. So in the setup for the camera settings, it gives you some more detail about the camera itself. We've got a medium Wi-Fi signal strength. Camera is online, and its location is called the back cabin. Here you can control the motion detection for the camera, the AI analysis, notification settings, activity zone, sleep settings, firmware, SD card, lighting, audio, advanced settings, and sharing. You can also remove the camera from the lineup. I'm not going to get into all these in detail. The video would be extremely long if I did. This is an environment in which you click and learn. Don't be afraid to click something to set it up. You can't really break the camera. The only thing you could do is set up an alerting that may be a nuisance. You'll just have to back out and change your settings to accommodate your particular needs. Let's see if we can go back. Nope, we crashed. So let me get back into the application. And again, as I mentioned, the home, library, and user buttons at the bottom. Let me see if I can reconnect to my camera. But in a nutshell, that's the application. It does pretty well on my Android. It doesn't, I haven't, on the actual smartphone itself, it hasn't crashed. It's relatively quick. The only reason we're slow here, as I mentioned, the emulator I'm using. But I'm somewhat impressed with the app itself. It's fast, pretty responsive, and has not crashed at this point. So rather than just waiting here for this thing to finally connect, that's pretty much the end of the demonstration. The camera itself seems to be pretty sturdy. The installation was a breeze. The setup was fairly easy, just a couple questions about your network and then a QR code to scan into the camera, and you're done. Set up an account, make sure that you use a strong password like you would for any other type of online account. But that's it. It seems to be a good camera for the basic user who wants something to be able to see, to have outside, to be in a wireless environment, to make it easy rather than running Ethernet cable. So I'm somewhat impressed with the unit so far. Time will tell. This is day 4 of the unit, having it finally in my hands. Purchased it from Amazon. So I'm pretty happy with it so far. So I'll update when I can after a few weeks and tell you how things are going. But thank you for watching. Please leave any comments, if you have questions, so on and so on. And have a great day.